Good morning, Aiden. How are you doing, my friend? And to mom, if you're watching this as well. Sorry for missing this week, but obviously with Friday being a public holiday, it was physically impossible to get everybody in. So I made a dedicated lesson for you, Aiden, basically breaking down what you'll be jamming with the group as well, because they also will be getting a guitar version of this video. And it's a bass line, two bass lines, and I'm going to show you one or two little tricks inside there once we've gone through it. So please make sure the short little PDF is open, get your bass out, and strong coffee if that's your thing, and let's get going. But on the page you'll see this says blues in A, bass, and you'll see there's tabs in blue, red and green. Everything in blue implies the chord A. So if you were playing an A chord on guitar and strumming away, this would be the backup implying your chord. Now the tab for exercise 1 is really straightforward, but I want to go through it just to get a feel for the tone, to get the feel for the sound, and to understand the rhythm. And once we've got that, then we'll sort of evolve from there into more sort of fun around the whole thing. But we're going to focus now primarily on your fretting hand, and let's get going with the tab. There we can see one average bass guitar, and we're starting by plucking the open third string, and that's the rhythm that's going to be as written on your PDF file in the tab. Now remember, when we say the third string, we always count third from the bottom. So that's your first string, second string, third string, and the name of the string is A. Okay, so you're playing the A string open, that's why it says 0. And your rhythm, if I was to count it, would be something like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now just quickly on the picking technique as well, please, I don't want this. Don't use your thumb. Rather let your thumb rest on the fourth string and pluck with your first finger or your first and second finger. So you can either do this, you can see nice and close there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you notice that silent pause. This is without the pause, and this is with the pause. I want with the pause. And as I said, you can actually use fingers 1 and 2, but I think the one finger is going to work out a lot more comfortable. Okay, you got your first riff in blue. That implies the chord A. So while the guitarist is playing the chord A, you're going to be plucking that in the background against it. Now at the bottom of the page as well, it's got a whole lot of 4 times A, 2 times D, 2 times A, and they're in blue and red and everything, so it's all color coded. And where it says structure sequence, the first thing in blue says 4 times A, and what that means is you play what you just did now 4 times in a row. So if I get a bit of an overview of the bass like this rather, you can see 4 times in a row, and I'm going to count to 4, and I'd like you to play with me. Aiden, are you ready? But 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I purposely took my hand off to show you that it's open strings the whole way through. Next up, we've got the D riff in red. That must go through twice. It's at fret number 5. It's really easy to play. I can use your middle finger, first finger. I'm not too worried about that. Please don't use your pinky yet. Okay. In fact, I want to suggest using your middle finger because it's the strongest. And when you do the next exercise, the one that says D riff, which is walking, then you'll understand why the second finger comes in. But anyway, for now, exercise 1, your D riff is simply going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and twice in a row. Now again, to the bottom of the page where it says structure sequence, you'll notice it's 2 Ds and then followed by 2 As. And please notice the color coding. The color coding lets us know what to do, how many times to do it, and what comes next. So if we were to follow through, you'd now go to 2 blues again, and then followed by 1 green, which is your E riff. Now for the E riff, you simply take what you did there, 1, 2, because this note is E. So just quickly on the names of the notes on the bass, if you're looking at your open string is A, that's your A string. When you go to fret number 5, this note is D, And if you go 2 more, this note is E. Now obviously we can play it in other parts in the bass too, but for this one it's going to work best like this. Now Aiden, before I go to the bass guitar walking riff, I want you and I to play through the whole way with this walking, or sorry, with the basic riff that we just learned. Are you ready? Bass nice and comfortable. Okay, yours is much nicer than mine. I do know that you've got a nice blue bass. And let's go. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and second time 2 and 3 and 4, and third time 2 and 4, and fourth time 2 and 3 and 4, and D, 2, 3, and second D, and back to A. Second time, and now we have E, 2 and 3 and 4, and D, and 2 and 3 and 4, and back to A, and E. How's that for nice and easy? Okay, and the next step now, which I'm going to focus more predominantly on the fretting hand, is going to sound like this. Sounds much more fun, keeps you a bit more busy, and it's not as boring as the first one, but sometimes the boring parts actually create the most effective things. So sometimes simple is really, really cool, but it's nice to be busy too. Okay, we're looking at the A riff, and it starts on a 5, and that's why I said middle finger, if you remember a few minutes back. Finger number 2, fingers are numbered. And we go from that 5, and the next number is a 4, but it's not on the same line. In other words, it crosses strings. So you go from string 4, fret number 5, to string 3, fret number 4. Then you stay on that string for the next 5, and the pinky has to work now. Please, my friend, get your pinky working. It's normally our weak finger. So Aiden, please, let's get some muscles into the pinky. So your new riff, slow motion from a top view, is going to look like this. I'm going to count slowly so you can play with if you want to. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you'll notice my thumb is a little bit lower. It's not as high, because if my thumb is high, my pinky doesn't want to come out there. He doesn't want to go to fret 7. But if I drop my pinky, or drop my thumb, sorry, drop the thumb, the pinky can actually go a lot further. So drop the thumb a little bit. Let your pinky get that stretch. Now, let's compare the A riff to the D riff. The numbers are the same, but the red one is simply a string down on the bass. So your D riff starts on the 3rd string, fret 5, and it's going to be the same sequence. You can see it there. And we do 2 of those in a row. And then when we go to the E riff, you simply shift everything you've just done. In other words, you take this and you move it 2 frets up, 1, 2, to fret 7. And again, you can see the reason why I used my second finger for the first basic riff. And there's your riff again. Now, the same structure is going to be adhered to. Nothing changes in the structure. You're still going to go 4 A's, 2 D's, 2 A's, like the structure sequence says beneath it. So if I was going to play it through the whole way, it's going to be something like this. I'm going to do it real slow first. 2 and 3 and 4 and second time, third time, fourth time, to the red D, and back to the blue A. Here comes the green E, quick jump, back 2 frets to D, upper string to A, and onto the green. And if you want speed, you have this. And there you have it. Aiden, I hope this helps. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to drop me a WhatsApp. Hope you have an awesome long weekend. And looking forward to seeing you next week, when we definitely will get jamming again. Take care.